Tension rises in Ukraine and Israel as global conflicts intensify. The world is witnessing renewed geopolitical tensions as the Russia-Ukraine war deepens and violence escalates again in Israel and Gaza, creating fresh fears of wider instability in Eastern Europe and Middle East. Russia-Ukraine update: drone strike and counter-attacks. For the second night in a row, Ukraine has launched drone attacks on Moscow, targeting energy and military facilities. The Russian Defense Ministry confirmed that 17 drones were intercepted, though fires broke out in the Bryansk and Kaluga regions. Russia retaliated with overnight missile strike on Kharkiv and Kharkiv and Zaporizhia, hitting power stations and rail lines. Ukraine air defense destroyed 31 of 40 missiles and drones, preventing widespread blackout. Frontline situation: heavy fighting continues in Donetsk, where both armies are battling for control of Pokrovsk. Moscow claims new gains in Zaporizhia, while Ukraine reports successful counterattacks near Yehovik and Avdiivka. Analysts say the conflict has entered a war of attrition, with both sides facing high casualties and ammunition shortage. Zelensky's message to allies: President Volodymyr Zelensky said that today Ukraine is ready for peace talks anywhere except Russia or Belarus. However, he ruled out ceding any territory, calling for stronger and longer Western support as the war moves into a critical winter phase. The Kremlin insists that any talks must recognize the territory it has legally integrated into Russia, a stance Ukraine and its allies reject. Humanitarian impact: the United Nations warned that more than 8 million Ukrainians remain displaced and millions face power shortages ahead of the winter. A recent UN investigation accuses Russia of using drones to stalk and strike civilians, labeling such action crimes against humanity. Nuclear and security concerns: Russia announcement of a Borisovsk nuclear-powered missile test, doubled the flying Chernobyl, has drawn strong condemnation from NATO members. European defense experts warn the move could trigger a new phase of nuclear escalation not seen since the Cold War. Tensions in Israel and Gaza. Escalation in the Middle East. In the Middle East, Israel and Hamas are once again exchanging airstrikes and rocket fire, shattering weeks of fragile calm. Israeli Defense Force (IDF) launched a series of overnight air raids on Gaza City, claiming to target terror cells linked to recent rocket attacks on Tel Aviv and Ashkelon. Palestinian health officials report dozens of casualties, including civilians, and describe the situation as a humanitarian emergency worsening by hour. International reaction: the United States and European Union has urged restraint while Egypt and Qatar attempt to mediate another ceasefire proposal. Meanwhile, Iran has warned that continued Israel attacks could spark a regional confrontation, drawing in Lebanon's Hezbollah and militias in Syria and Iraq. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres appealed for calm, saying, "The Middle East is on the brink of a dangerous regional war that the world cannot afford." Regional security impact: Israel has placed its northern and southern borders on high alert, deploying additional Iron Dome batteries amid fears of new rocket barrage from Gaza and southern Lebanon. Analysts believe the renewed clashes could derail ongoing U.S.-brokered peace efforts, which were focused on humanitarian reconstruction in Gaza. In the global context, from Eastern Europe, frozen trenches for the volatile skies over Gaza, the world faces mounting crisis with no clear end in sight. Diplomatic sources warn that these parallel conflicts in Ukraine and Israel-Palestine are stretching international attention, aid, and peacekeeping capacity to their limits. As October 2025 ends, two major wars in Ukraine and the Middle East continue to test global leadership and unity. Unless new diplomatic breakthrough occur, the world could face a winter marked by simultaneous humanitarian and security emergency.